everybody. Welcome to Bravo Confessionals. We are here with Mel and Michelle and our friend Elyse Slaine from Real Housewives of New York. And we're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's been a wild week from the whole episode where you guys are in Rhode Island. And
what can I say other than oi?
So I don't know if you saw, but we had Martini Mike, the guy who was in the background, on our show, and he was like, it was just as crazy, probably even crazier in person.
That's true.
Which is hard to imagine because it looked pretty intense, you know, as a viewer. But
what
to imagine
was child's play.
Really?
Yeah.
And is that like actual behavior? Like that's how they are normally, or is it more like when the cameras are on?
No, I think the ladies are pretty true to themselves.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. How do you feel about being a part of the cast?
Well, you know, it's overall, I would say it was a great experience. It's no secret that Ramona and I had since had a falling out, which is a shame because we had a nice friendship. So that was a casualty of it, which is disappointing. On the other hand, Leah and I have gotten very close.
We love Leah. I mean, it's not that we don't love Ramona too, but like we see Leah and we're like, we could all hang, right?
Right.
But I also love that you stand up for yourself. Like, and if you see something happening, you're almost one to jump in and defend it, even though it's, you know, everybody else is kind of ganging up on one person. You're always that voice of reason, which is actually really, really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I'm not into the bullying. I know in Newport I came across a little hard on Leah. And then the following episode you saw, I had Leah's back and tried to convince Sonia and Ramona to go easy on her.
Mm-hmm. At the dinner, that was really nice because you could tell you're all at this dinner table, and I don't know, it's hard as a viewer to know that like there are such like two different pockets during this dinner. It's like Ramona and Sonia and Dorinda are kind of doing their own thing, and then there's like you and Tinsley, and you're like, Tinsley's supposed to be like celebrating this like really happy time of her life, right? And the reaction was just sad. So it was nice to see
you talked about last night's episode. Yeah, I was really disappointed that the girls didn't come around to celebrate her, right? I mean, they were eager to talk about it when Tinsley was in turmoil, but when Tinsley finally got her happy fairy tale ending, they were shutting her down, and that definitely bothered me.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, I feel like Tinsley's always searching. I mean, obviously I don't know her personally, but I feel like she's always searching for just love, and she truly does believe in that like fairy tale ending thing. And it's nice that you, even if maybe not everybody feels the same way, but you are sticking up for somebody when the other voices around aren't, and that's just really cool.
Thank you.
When you guys do those cast trips, is it literally like just a weekend, or is it like a couple days, or are you guys gone for like
a couple of days? It's usually not on the weekend. It's usually like a Monday to a Wednesday kind of a thing.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you think you'll be back next season?
Oh, I don't know. I think it would be tough with my falling out with Ramona.
Yeah, but that might make it even better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I don't like the fighting and the, you know, the hate, right? I mean, I think the girls could be really funny, and so if it were about being funny, and I understand that you need conflict and resolution, but when it goes to, you know, when it goes beyond conflict and it just becomes cruel, then I tend to withdraw or sit back, and I'm not comfortable partaking in that.
Well, you're so successful on your own, right? Like you don't need this show to have a platform. You've already built, I mean, you were ahead of the curve when it comes to women on Wall Street. And so that is just maybe threatening to the other people. I don't know if it is, but it could be that you have done this on your own and they're all trying to do it.
She's a mogul.
Right. Well, thank you for saying that and for recognizing my career. Because yes, I was on Wall Street at a time when women were not. I was one of the first bond traders at Cantor Fitzgerald, back when there were no guidelines on what you can and cannot say, and it was a wild time on Wall Street when I got started there. I don't think the women are threatened by me in any way. I think that they probably resent that I don't just, jump in with the crazy sort of a thing. And so they think I'm judgmental because I'm just by nature a little calmer and more a voice of reason. So eventually, here's a little sneak preview. They do get me to drink.
We can't wait to see that.
I mean, how can you not with those girls? I feel like they drove you.
Right.
So where are you quarantined? Are you in the city?
No, I came out to Southampton around Mother's Day. I was in the city. And then I came out to Southampton, and my daughter and her boyfriend are also here. So my hubby and then the two of them are living together.
Nice. Cool. So we kind of ask this question for every celebrity, everybody that comes on our show. If you can pick 5 people to be quarantined with from the Bravo world, who would it be?
Well, all right. So I have to preference this by saying I don't watch any of the other shows.
Maybe that's why I love you.
I never even watched RHONY before I was on it, only because I watched it the first season because I knew all of the girls, and you know that I introduced Jill and Bethany. I mean, I have deep roots with these girls, but with all the fighting, it really put knots in my stomach. And so I wasn't really watching it. And season 10, I popped up at some parties. And so I would watch it, just because who doesn't want to watch
there.
it on TV, right? Let's admit it, right? Although my husband ended up being more in the scenes than I was, There you are. So I only, as a reference point, I only have the cast of RHONY to pick from. So I wouldn't pick all of them. So I know you said pick 5, but I think I would, I'd have to be deserted with Leah.
And that works. We love Leah. So
that reminds me really quickly before I forget. Riley, do not. So when Sonia was having the meltdown at the $50 million home or whatever that was she as intense in person in that moment? Was there more to that sort of meltdown? I think is the absolute best word.
You mean when I treated her by calling her an accessory?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, so first of all, I have to defend myself on that because for some reason people just heard the "you're an accessory" part and they didn't listen to what Sonia was saying before that. Sonia was saying that her husband made her go shopping for clothes and for jewelry when she didn't want to, and she said she was actually embarrassed by it. So when someone's making you, when a man is making you dress in a certain way, and you don't want to, he's clearly not doing it for you. He's accessorizing you because you accessorize him.
Right.
And, I also fell into that trap, with an ex-boyfriend. So I really was not putting her down. I was just sort of saying it like it was. If you're embarrassed by what he's making you wear and you're still wearing it, you're an accessory.
Mm-hmm.
Your arm candy.
Yeah, but she definitely got triggered. And now we all know she's not groomed down there.
If we have to hear about the bush one more time.
You saw the look on my face when she said it, right? I was like, keep in mind, I knew all the people at this party. Ramona and I are in the same friend group.
Okay.
So I knew everybody also, as Sonia was screaming about her kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So being that you are in the same friend group with Ramona, how has this fight or squabble affected that group? Are there people taking sides? Or
So it's been during quarantine. So normally we would have been at probably 10 parties together already, but with quarantine going on, we haven't experienced that. But I'm sure it's going to be uncomfortable, right? So for more intimate parties, people will probably choose sort of a thing. And the larger parties.
For people who don't know what the fight is about, are you able to talk about it?
I don't know what the fight is about.
Oh.
But, I mean, she just literally started to freeze me out. She was just starting to ignore me, and in the conversation, she would sort of turn her back and try to nudge me out of the conversation. I have no idea what triggered her. I've always had her back with the other ladies. So much so that Dorinda said I had Stockholm syndrome. So I don't know what triggered it, if you want the truth. And
So two ideas on that.
yeah.
First of all, Candy Burris, who is one of our queens, she's from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She said, and I quote, if you and I have a problem and I don't know what the problem is, we don't have a problem. You have a problem. And so that's kind of like my life's motto. It's like, listen, if we have a problem and I have no idea what it is, it's all about you then. You can handle it.
Right.
But one thing, and I think the girls will agree with me here, this could be her way of, Ramona rather, this could be her way of trying to prevent you from moving forward with perhaps, you know, actually being a cast member or something. This could be an effort on her part to prevent you from, because, you know, you won't want to, you know, like you were saying initially, really be a part of it, considering, you know, you would then be forced to be around her. And you know, unfortunately, you know, you guys have had this falling out. So this could be a Ramona thing where she's trying to make sure that you're not a part of the show moving forward.
No, she definitely doesn't want me around the group of ladies anymore, which is interesting because she's the one who brought me in and brought me in very aggressively, right? She kept saying, come, come, come. And I've also known Sonia and Dorinda for a long time. Clearly not as close to them as Ramona is, but I do have history with both of them. So I don't know why she had a change of heart. I'm not sure.
I feel like she always gets pretty threatened, and I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel like any new cast member that comes in, it's like she wants nothing more to do with them. She just like kind of just shuts them out a little bit.
Well, that would make sense if she wasn't the one who initiated bringing me in.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw her even when, you know, her and I can't even think of who it was right now, but they're at the bar at the Cookhouse restaurant, that anybody, so when like Leah would come up, she's just automatically turning her back. It's like Ramona's new thing is to just shut people out.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's just wild to me. But I have to say, this has nothing to do with what I just said, but your impersonations are spot on, okay? I was dying when you were doing that in the van. Have you practiced that, or that just comes out?
I have to tell you, when I did that in the car, I actually did not know that the cameras were in the car.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes it even better.
Yeah.
That makes it so much better. Well, Mel does some pretty spot on impersonations too, so we were like, ooh, you guys need to just have like a little impersonation off.
There's a cast member of one of the Below Deck shows that we watch, and she has a tendency to, whenever she's speaking about something, sort of end it in this continuous question. So as you go through a conversation with her, you're like, I never feel like you're making a statement. I feel like everything is like this. It's very like, I can't.
Give her like a period or an exclamation point, right?
Yeah, I constantly feel like I'm being questioned by her. So,
well, we definitely want to thank you for taking the time of your day to pop on with us. I mean, we really appreciate it. You're our first housewife. Right?
Well, it's my pleasure. Friend of.
You're a housewife in our book, unless you don't want to be.
Thank you. Well, I'm actually the only literal housewife, right? Because I'm the only married one.
I know. That drives me crazy that they have the Real Housewives of New York, and at that point, none of them were married.
Right.
So it was entertaining. But you are the Real Housewife.
I am.
So
Thank you.
I do want to ask before like we pop off. We were trying to keep this a little bit shorter for you, but I do want to ask: have you been watching what's going on in the Bravo world right now? Have you been keeping track of like what's going on? I mean,
and I actually, when it came around to people making accusations about the girls on RHONY, now knowing that I'm in a bad place with Ramona, right? I still defended her publicly because someone called her a racist because she posted All Lives Matter, and she's not a racist. So that wasn't the correct thing to post, but that was just more ignorance or naivete. She's not racist.
yeah, I think that's
a lot of
issue that a lot of
But
people.
she's not that.
I think a lot of people are dealing with that now. In the, you put something out on social media, it could be like you put it out in 2 seconds, but it'll follow you forever. And you just have to, more people need to educate themselves about like what they're saying before they say it. And
Right.
thank you again so much for joining us. And I don't know, this has just been fun. And I hope that we can maybe chat some other time. And
Absolutely.
we wish you the best. Of course. Make sure that you pop on, well, you can totally subscribe to our YouTube if you want to, Elyse. But for the people watching, make sure you check us out. We are on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm Taylor, that's Mel, that's Michelle, and our friend Elyse. And we'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Time ain't got nothing on you.